Today we're going to talk about the new Honda ADV350, and I want to have a discussion with you guys on whether or not you think American Honda should import it to the USA for 2023 and beyond. It's obvious now that Honda does pay attention to these videos in the comments below, so let your voice be heard down in the comments section and let me know what you guys think about it all. With that being said, let's first dive into a little more info on the bike and why I think the ADV350 needs to make the trip across the pond to America. First off, we've got more long stretches of highways and interstates than just about anywhere, and what do we have for scooter options here in the States? Not much. Our fastest scooter in the lineup is the PCX160, and while it's extremely peppy for what it is, you're wringing its neck to get it up to around the 70 to 75 mile per hour mark in perfect conditions on a flat road. Now, if you add in a larger than normal rider and a mixture of hills and mountains, you're not getting anywhere near those speeds. Then you have our ADV150 that is soon to share the same 160 engine as the PCX, so performance levels will be similar there. Followed up by the Navi 110 that's good for around 50 miles per hour, and then the 249cc options that include the Metropolitan and Ruckus, and yeah, you're not getting anywhere near a highway on one of those. Why? Because you'll be lucky to hit 35 to 40 miles per hour if you can find a strong enough backwind down a hill. So why don't we have larger scooter models here in the USA? Could American Honda be gun shy because of lackluster sales from the last few models that they tried? Their largest offering back in the day was the Silverwing 600 that packed a 582cc engine, pumping out about 50 horsepower, and man would that thing fly. Capable of hitting triple digits, but it was expensive. Its MSRP was $9,270, and for context, that same year, the 4-cylinder CB1100 was only $700 more, or you could buy a Shadow 750 Cruiser for about $700 less, and you could snatch up a CB500 while keeping an extra $4,000 in your pocket. I was selling these back in the day, and trust me, it was not an easy sell, which is why it was easy to find new leftovers on dealers' floors for quite a few years after they were discontinued. Another one of their latest attempts was the Forza 300, pretty much replacing the Reflex 250, but only for a few years before it got the axe as well, with an outgoing MSRP of $55.99. Cheaper, but still a difficult sell from my experience because a lot of people just couldn't wrap their head around spending more than $5,000 for a scooter, and a common quote I'd hear was, "Why would I spend that when I could buy a real motorcycle for less?" I think in most people's heads, at least those that aren't avid scooter riders, think a scooter should always be cheaper than the equivalently sized motorcycle next to it. And I can't blame people for having that thought process, but it just doesn't work that way. Times have changed though, and scooters are a lot more rich in features, so it might be easier for some to justify the price tags that some of these models would demand if they make it here to the States. So one of my questions for you guys is, what would you be willing to pay for the new ADV350 if American Honda imported them? In the UK, it has an MSRP of £5,799, and sadly, you can't do a straight conversion as the world doesn't work that way, but if we compared it against a similarly priced model that's available in both countries and did a little math, that would put the ADV350 price tag in the neighborhood of $6,500. Yeah, that's still a lot of money, but if you compare it against what else is out there from Honda and the few other manufacturers still pumping out scooters with a similar engine size and what it's capable of doing, it's really not that bad, in my opinion, especially when you add in the ease of just being able to hop on, twist the throttle and go with an automatic transmission that can hit highway speeds comfortably without running it at redline constantly. Plus, you have plenty of storage for most people's needs, and it's something you can do some light venturing off-road with too. Which leads us to a hole in the market with Honda. They don't really have any dual sport or adventure style bikes for people that are a little on the vertically challenged side, and this little guy would slide in there perfectly with its 31.2 inch seat height. But that's enough of me rambling. I'm curious to hear what some of you think, so let's talk about it down in the comments section. If you made it this far, thank you for watching and supporting all of this. I really appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.